Thank you for attending the Cannabis Investor Webcast. Our platinum sponsors today are Cannabis Science Incorporated, Kaya Holdings Incorporated, Nemus Bioscience Incorporated, Technical 420, Tauriga Sciences Incorporated, Mentor Capital Incorporated, and Pathogen DX. Please reserve the date, May 23rd, 2016, for the Cannabis Publicly Traded Companies, Investors, Analysts, and Media Conference. The website address is cannainvestorconference.com. Again, CANNA, investorconference.com. Our next presenter today is Dr. Stella Sung, CEO and President of Tauriga Sciences. Dr. Sung, give me a couple of seconds and I will make you a presenter and turn the screen over to you.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you very, very much, Derwin, as well as all the registrants and the audience. We presented for the first time in April and found it to be just a great forum and a unique forum. So first of all, really appreciate that. So what I will do, let me see if I can move my slides now. One second. There we go. Okay, so few technical difficulties, but what I'd like to do is give an overview of our company, and really, since we did this in April, try to focus a little more on the updates since April. I understand there's probably a slightly different mix of participants each of these webcasts, so I will still do the overview, particularly focusing on our vision and our products. Okay, so Tauriga Sciences, as we summarize in this slide, is really in this form about 2 years old, a little more than 2 years old. We redid the business model in 2013 to be a diversified life science company, and the key component of our assets are that we want to have assets that are balanced and that avoid the typical clinical regulatory timelines that you find in biotech, which often takes 10 years and many tens of millions of dollars to get from a compound to possibly a drug on the market. Tauriga currently has two major businesses. The first one is natural wellness, which is the main focus of our discussion today, because our natural wellness business, involves CBD and medicinal cannabis, as well as other non-CBD and cannabis-related dietary supplements. And then our second part of our business is we have a subsidiary, which I'll talk a little bit about, called Pillis Energy, that is developing a very interesting synthetic biology-based clean tech platform that we're using to turn wastewater into value. So for our natural wellness product line, we currently have 6 products and several in the pipeline. 2 of our 6 products have CBD, and the other 4 support wellness in general, and are not necessarily limited to medicinal cannabis or recreational cannabis users, but may address effects that may be of particular significance to people who do use cannabis. One aspect that I'm very proud of for our company, and especially one of our market cap, is that we do have, I believe, an experienced senior management team, and importantly, a very committed senior management team with a set of complementary skills that I think are uniquely suitable for our business model. Okay, and as I alluded to, we do have several key criteria for selecting what we put into our portfolio, big picture. innovation is very, very important to us. So whether it's our synthetic biology subsidiary or each and every one of the products in our natural wellness line, we like things to be based on scientific innovation. And then the reason that we are taking the route of avoiding the traditional clinical regulatory timelines is that I came from the biotech industry, so and I think it's very promising in a lot of respects. But one thing that we're focused on as a microcap company is near-term revenue opportunity. And obviously news flow as well, which doesn't necessarily jive perfectly with the biotech regulatory path or set of milestones. It's important to us to aim high and have large addressable markets for our products and technology, and have a clear path to commercialization. And for the deals that we've done, particularly for the acquisition of Pillis Energy, we like to make sure that all our incentives and interests are aligned. And so, we do our deals, we try to have an equity component of it so that everybody is has a common goal. And that would be to make Tauriga as an entity successful. Okay, so starting out with our natural wellness product line, we recently launched our e-commerce site to sell these products. It was beginning of the year, January 8th. As I mentioned, 2 of our 6 products use cannabidiol as a key ingredient. And our CBD oil comes from non-GMO industrial hemp that's grown without pesticides, herbicides, or other chemical fertilizers. Now, this is an important point because, as many of you know, CBD oil can be obtained in 2 different ways. One way is to extract it from medical marijuana plants that have been specifically cultivated to be high in CBD and low in THC. And then the other way is to extract it from the stalk of industrial hemp. We do it from the stalk of industrial hemp because we want to make sure that our products have pretty much no THC. Anything over 0.3% THC is considered a narcotic. And even when one extracts CBD from strains of medical marijuana that are grown and cultivated to be high in CBD and low in THC, there's still a pretty big spectrum in terms of the amount of THC contained. So so for those 2 products that have CBD, it comes from industrial hemp. None of our products have any psychoactive effect, and all of them use natural ingredients, whether it's CBD, other botanicals, or amino acids. So, that's important. But overall, what we want to do is capitalize on the large and growing market for legitimate medicinal cannabis. And our fundamental belief is that cannabis, CBD, is an important plant-based medicine. There are a lot of healing properties, and to us, it's not the cannabis is the gateway to harder recreational drugs, but rather it's the gateway to complementary medicine. That there are a lot of healing properties in it, and it's a natural substance. Okay. So an important component in our vision is that each of our products are designed as natural alternatives to conventional prescription pharmaceuticals. As mentioned, I come from the biotech area. I'm a believer in biopharmaceuticals, but I'm also a believer that in sort of big picture, the consumer is going to make more and more of the healthcare decisions. I think that, fortunately for us in our generation, many of medical conditions can be treated as chronic diseases, whether it's, AIDS or diabetes and all that, and that now, hopefully more and more healthcare decisions will be made on sort of, quality of life and reduced side effects, and just how people want to address their hopefully uh, uh, non-fatal and more chronic conditions. CBD and cannabis is very, very safe. There have, of course, been reports of people who have, usually taken uh, have ingested more cannabis and CBD than they're accustomed to, because unlike smoking it, once you ingest it, it takes some time to digest and for any effects to be felt. And so there have been reports of people who think they haven't taken enough, they take more, and then they do, inadvisable things while under the influence of cannabis. But this is very different from a lethal overdose from the substance, which, in terms of what we call therapeutics index, which is the ratio of sort of it's how much over the recommended dose will be lethal. Cannabis is exceedingly safe. For our products, both for CBD products and our dietary supplements, we have very strong testimonials suggesting benefit with fewer undesirable side effects as compared to traditional conventional prescription meds. And for each of these products, I'll go through what the analogous pharmaceutical treatments could be. And with dietary supplements, one can't make any medical claims. So I'm not making any medical claims. We can talk about testimonials, and we can talk about structure-function relationships with respect to key ingredients. So, and that is why I'm wording things the way I am. Our line of products and supplements, as I mentioned earlier, is for foundational health benefits. And our products are, in addition to being designed as natural alternatives for other solutions, one thing that is notable about them is that they work typically regardless of etiology. And so it doesn't matter, for example, for our appetite suppressant, whether one has an appetite spike because they have the munchies from smoking certain strains of marijuana, or if they simply have problems with appetite control. So, in addition, all of our ingredients are what's regarded as GRAS. That acronym stands for generally regarded as safe. It's a term used by the FDA. And our idea with introducing the non-CBD containing supplements is that it will allow us to build our brand not only with the cannabis users in all 23 medical marijuana states, but also with the general population, because they address health issues that many people, and in some cases all people, face at one time or another. Our products are based on proven technologies, and in some cases patented technologies, and we're really leveraging Tauriga's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Larry May's expertise. Dr. May, in addition to being an active practicing internal medicine doctor, primary care physician, was formerly head of medical affairs at Herbalife. So he has the ideal background for creating our branded line of cannabis-related supplements. Moreover, from the marketing side, Dr. May, you may have seen him on TV. I know, since I seem to see it more and more since I know that he was responsible for it. But he's the face and of the supplement Prosvent, Prosvent, which is running on, the infomercial runs on many channels and sometimes on airplanes too. But what's important about this is that that particular product, which unfortunately for him, he doesn't own, he does get royalties too, the infomercial has been running for 10 years, and the product has generated $1 million plus in revenues every month. So sustained over 10 years. So, when we get to the point, hopefully soon, when Tauriga is, turns to marketing, it's really hard to have a successful infomercial. I'm not saying that that's necessarily how we're going to go, but what I am saying is that we have, people on our team with experiences, connections, and ability to really grow the company faster than, and the revenue stream faster than most companies of our current size would be able to do. And then, importantly, all of our products can be sold in dispensaries as well as through other channels, including our online e-commerce store. And one milestone since our first presentation in early April is that our products are now sold in dispensary, started being sold in dispensaries in Southern California, and we also in March placed some of our dietary supplements in retail pharmacies. We have 2 pharmacies, one in Malibu and the other in Beverly Hills, selling our supplements, and I think they're at the point of reordering or have reordered. So just not only launching it online, but now getting some traction in other channels too. And this is without actually spending on marketing, which the company has not yet been in a position to do, but hopefully will be in the not too distant future. Okay, the strategy is to really reinforce our medical identity. There are synergistic benefits to our CBD products and our non-CBD dietary supplements. But one of the things that we've done again since our inaugural presentation to this group of people is that we've struck a deal with Cannabis Health, which is relaunching a website, cannabishealth.com, that will provide really medical focused information on cannabis. Similarly, I recently had the pleasure of meeting Rudy Romo, who is the founder and creator of a site called 420 Insight, which similarly has over years collected medicinally related information and help, and is a great resource for those cannabis users that are focused on addressing health issues. So that's something that we really, in addition to scientific innovation, we really want to reinforce our medical identity. Let's see. I'm going to shift now and just talk about individual products. This slide sort of shows the divide of our 6 products. 2 of them contain CBD, and then the other four are directed to fundamental wellness and have no CBD or cannabis in them at all. This graphic is, a good summary we can come back to, but what I'll do is go through each of the products one by one. Okay, so our flagship product is Topicana. Topicana is a topical CBD lotion. Again, there is no narcotic effect at all. And in fact, our goal for Topicana is to target largely the senior citizen population, many of whom have pain day in and day out, but are already on a number of oral medications and prefer strongly not to take another medication orally for pain. What they're usually prescribed are topical analgesics such as Voltaren, which is made by Novartis, or Pennsaid. The problem with these is that they're not generally effective, and I should say they're limited in efficacy from the feedback that we've received through Dr. May's office, and importantly, they're not covered by Medicare Part D. So a tube of Voltaren, for example, could be several $100s out of pocket for a senior citizen. Our lotion, we sell it online, 4 ounces for $40, so a lot cheaper. But importantly, it seems to work in many instances much better with no side effect. I mean, it's perfectly safe. Part of it is that we have over 50 milligrams of CBD per ounce, so there's a lot of active ingredient of CBD. we use a mix of decarboxylated CBD oil and raw extracted oil, and then also some other ingredients that allow it to penetrate the skin very well. And one of the things that I'm pleased about is the number of testimonials we've received from Tropicana, where people will say that nothing is really like it. I'm highlighting this one because it's from somebody who is, in her 90s. So to, if anything, make the point that Tauriga is not trying to get grandma and grandpa high, but rather create and commercialize solutions that are natural and are good alternatives for what's currently out there. So Ms. McGinnis says that she's 93 years old and she suffered from lower back pain for 3 years. And for anyone who suffers from lower back pain, this affects so much of what you do day in and day out and quality of life. For her, NSAIDs and Tylenol did nothing. She uses Tropicana twice a day and feels no pain. And she's recommended it to hopefully her other elderly friends too, but she's recommended it to friends. Okay. Our next product is the other one that contains CBD is Canna Caviar. Canna Caviar is a beautifully clear soft gel. It looks, if you see it, especially in bulk, sort of, and shine a light through it. I mean, they're really beautiful soft gels as far as aesthetics goes. But CBD, as most of you know, has been associated with healing properties. It's been connected in many usually preclinical studies as an analgesic, systemically, an anti-inflammatory, anti-spasmodic, anti-anxiety, and an anti-psychotic compound. Our product, there's no psychoactive high, so the in order to really feel the benefit, one generally has to have some baseline symptom, whether it's pain or muscle spasms or anxiety, because one's not going to tell whether it works based on getting high. But each of our CBD, each of our soft gels has 15 milligrams of active CBD. It's not just 15 milligrams of oil, it's 15 milligrams of CBD. And the oil we use to create it is about 25% active CBD. And I really like this particular testimonial because Nikki is, well, one, she's gorgeous, and many of you probably have seen photos of her or know of her. She was previously in Playboy on the cover for 1997 and 2003. So she obviously takes health and beauty very seriously, and she's also not, unlike the previous testimonial, she's not somebody in her 90s. So her feeling is that Canna Caviar is amazing. When she first tried it, she was kind of nauseous. She was anxious and had neck pain. And I've had the opportunity to meet her personally. So hang on. And so I know that she's a working mom. She has a daughter who is a 5-year-old. So there's she has a lot going on, and it helped. Taking Canna Caviar helped her neck pain. It calmed her and also helped with her nausea. And she said that it helped her fall asleep. And that's an important reason why many people do smoke pot or take cannabis in some form or another. And natural remedies are very important to her overall sort of philosophy and regimen. Okay. Um, uh, Let me just add though, because, and this is a separate topic, but Canna Caviar is currently not, we're not offering it on our website now, not because it's not good, or it's not everything we say it is, but rather because these days with recent controversy about CBD, even extracted from industrial hemp, groups like PayPal and others are quite sensitive to it. So we're selling it through physician offices because it is something something that we view as a natural health benefit, but temporarily we've suspended it from our e-commerce site, trying to find a way to either explain it or to merchant services or to sell it. But for those of you that are interested in it, you can always send an email to and order it directly through us and or through our physician's office. Okay, so shifting to our natural supplements. Indicom is something that provides relaxation and focused thinking. So our key ingredient in this compound is an amino acid called L-theanine. L-theanine is the main constituent of green tea, and what it's known to do, again, structure function. It's known to reduce mental and physical stress and improve cognition and really sort of boost one's mood. It's found to inhibit distracting, unproductive thoughts, and it also stimulates alpha waves to maintain focus and concentration. And here, like with our whole product line, we're again trying to provide natural alternatives to conventional meds. And here I put one testimonial. Another one I want to talk about that's not on here is one because it was particularly moving to me, where I got feedback from a gentleman who has a 15-year-old daughter with severe ADD, and what he told me and wrote it out was that his daughter, the ADD meds work on her ADD, but they create a lot of side effects that are undesirable. For example, she has a loss of appetite. There are many things that are not ideal, but they do treat the ADD. When he had her try Indicom, he said that it actually treated her ADD not 100% as well as the drugs that the medication she was on, but 80% of the way. But what made it really, really good for his daughter is that there were no side effects. So what he does is 5 days a week during the school week, he has her on her ADD meds, and then on the weekends she's on Indicom only to address the ADD, but also give her an opportunity to eat, to relax, and it's really changed her life. I've had testimonials that people prefer this to Xanax because it doesn't have the mind-altering effect, and so forth. So again, for us, that's a win when we create a natural product that can treat a lot of effects that prescription pharmaceuticals address, but also address with some side effects. Okay. And similar to this next product, Satiativa, again, Indicom works regardless of whether one is paranoid or stressed from smoking too much or certain strains of marijuana, or whether they're just anxious in general. So again, the being independent of cause is another theme that runs through our product line. So Satiativa is a natural appetite control. This formulation has been proven as a medical food with obese patients under the supervision of physicians. So Tauriga is offering it for the first time direct to consumers as a dietary supplement, but it's patented and proven to work as a medical food. So that's, I think, very interesting, and also to our theme of scientific innovation and proven science. The way Satiativa works is that it's sort of a proprietary blend of amino acids and polyphenol ingredients that is used to stimulate the production of certain neurotransmitters that are involved in appetite. And again, whether you have the munchies, whether in general you just have a runaway appetite, this stuff has been demonstrated to work, under the, previously as a medical food and under the supervision or recommendation of physicians. I like this testimonial too. This is a woman in her early 30s, and she says that it naturally curbs her appetite, and she actually forgets about her urge to binge. And as is the goal with our whole natural wellness product line, we want it to work in a way that is, well, essentially natural, so you don't feel like, oh my gosh, it's kicking in right now. But yeah, and what she says is that she didn't even realize that she wasn't hungry until she did her food log or journal, which I guess she keeps in order to, as part of her weight control program. So, again, that to us is means that our product is working the way we like it to work. Okay. Clearnaze is what we believe, as far as the non-CBD products, to be potentially our hero product. It's like with Satiativa. Satiativa, it's amino acid based, it's natural, and it's based on proven technology, independent of etiology, and it's the first time, again, well, maybe it's not the first time, but it's being offered direct to consumers, clearly. Um, this is something where everybody at some point or another gets congested, gets a stuffy nose, and regardless of whether it's from smoking too much dope or from allergies or environmental factors, pollution, it clears. It decongests without either stimulant or drowsiness effects. Now, if or when we get to the point of direct marketing, my feeling is that this might be a great product to start out to try to market, because it's so universally applicable. And this is another person in her 90s who has used this product, and I have other testimonials that suggest that people prefer Clearnaze to prescription medications such as Zyrtec and others. But again, those are testimonials, no medical claim. Okay, and then the final product before I shift quickly into other parts of the business is a product called Mendocan. We call it Mendocan because fish oil is essential to maintaining the health of the body's endocannabinoid system, which is not just for getting high, but supports a lot of important physiological functions and heart health. What I want to say here is that a lot of people take fish oil. What makes ours different and premium is that the fish oils, the commodity ones that are available, usually only have, about 180 milligrams of EPA and 120 milligrams of DHA. Some of the better ones available have, sort of 330 and 220 respectively, and there's a again, prescription product called Lovesa that has 475 and 375. Our product has over 400 and over 300. So really, I would consider that pharmaceutical grade. And it's, again, we have, another testimonial on that, several testimonials on that. Okay. And then, just on our, to finalize our pipeline and our products, we have several products in our pipeline that we've already formulated. Dr. May has already, put together, formulations, and that we can quickly expand into other areas, based on, the company's overall, economics and ability to support and market the existing and new products. So the new products would be in restorative sleep, energy, memory and cognitive functions, and also pain, not so much topical, but here a pain supplement. Okay. And then I'm very excited about our recent, agreement to develop CBD e-cigs. Obviously, I'm a fan of CBD. This is a huge market. We are working with a company called Breathe e-cig that recently became public through a reverse merger, and they've just launched their product. This is what our product will look like. This is a photo of or rendering of their product that is now being offered in New York and Tennessee. That is a nicotine-based product, but we already have sourced and formulated and mixed the flavored CBD, and shooting to launch the CBD e-cigs at the end of this month. Okay. And now I'm going to just shift completely to our other business, which is our synthetic biology clean tech business. In short, I'd like to describe this in as simple terms as possible. But so what Pillar's Energy does, what our platform technology is that we have specifically genetically engineered strains of bacteria. There are certain, 8 key mutations to make the bacteria particularly good at metabolizing the organic waste in wastewater. And we house this bacteria, in a what we call an electrogenic bioreactor, but it's really a microbial fuel cell. So the idea is that we use the genetically enhanced bacteria to remediate the waste, and then we capture capture energy in the form of electricity. And we could also do biogases. We haven't actually done that yet. We are at the stage. We started about a little over a year ago at the Metropolitan Sewer District of Cincinnati, which processes an enormous quantity of wastewater. And we're in discussions to launch other commercial pilots. It's something that the milestones take longer than those in natural wellness, where we can formulate, manufacture, and sell. This is more where we scale up, we develop proof of concept, and then the licensing and other revenues have the potential to be much bigger. So this and what I like about Pillis and natural wellness is I do think it's a good balance between consumer health care, natural wellness, and industrial clean tech, because if one thinks about it, both sort of encourage a green a social responsibility, and a green aspect to improving the quality of our lives. Okay, I'm sure people understand the importance of water, and I'm just going to, because I think the proposition is pretty apparent. The market opportunity is enormous here. We have estimates that the global wastewater to value market is expected to grow to $27 billion by 2021. And that there's an estimated 1,100 terawatts of hours stored in wastewater, and basically, pollutants. And to give a sense of scale, that 1,100 terawatt hours corresponds to enough energy to power about 275 million homes for a year, every year. I mean, there's a lot. If we can find a way to harness that and use it, that would be a great thing for all of us and for society. Okay, so I explained what our EBR does. A little more detail. Our strain of bacteria we used that we engineered was selected because of how robust it is at a metabolic level. So the strain we use is something called Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and on a cellular level, it's 17 times more active than typical sort of bacterial digestion or fermentation. Okay, this just shows a picture of the benchtop scale EBR. We've built more of them for bigger, for larger capacity in conjunction with the Cincinnati project. This is sort of a schematic of it. And then again, what we're happy with is that this actually has real intellectual property. The patent is not just an application, but was issued over 2 years ago. And we're in continuation with divisionals in important geographic areas in China, the EU, India, and Hong Kong. Okay, we are actually a little bit behind on this project. The scale up, we've had a couple of recent setbacks in that one of our new electrogenic bioreactors in the winter developed a crack, but we're basically at the point of testing strains of bacteria and hopefully getting good data to really scale up more quickly. The Cincinnati Commercial Pilot Project is important to develop proof of concept, but what we found recently is that we may actually even have applications that could have a faster commercialization path. So Professor Hassett, who was one of the co-founders, he was a scientific co-founder of Pillis Energy and is currently a microbiology professor at the University of Cincinnati, generated some preliminary data that shows that our proprietary bacteria can create threefold the power of any electrogenic bioreactor using urine to date. And I know this sounds a little bit gross, but the carbon molecules in urine can be used to create electricity. And there are efforts in the UK, which actually was funded by the Gates Foundation, that are working to apply this, and our preliminary data is hugely promising. It is, on a research scale, but we are. Dr. Hassett has. Proposal to, and we're in discussions to work on generating electricity using porta potties, essentially, and you can imagine how this could be used. If you put the sensor and the reactor in a porta potty, you could actually create a system to generate lighting for recharging portable devices and even bioremediation. So this is something where it could actually be a reasonably rapid pace to path to commercialization. Okay. It's certainly an innovative opportunity. We've had some international interest in the technology and in the vision for Pillis Energy. In 2010, it was an Imagine H2O finalist, an ARPA e-presenter, and then also there's a prize called the Nobel in Sustainability, and Pillis Energy was a nominee in 2012. So that's kind of the other half of the business. And then the final big point I want to make is that our management team is not only dedicated to this microcap endeavor and our vision of quality of life, both on the environmental front and on the natural wellness front, but we're also pretty well qualified. My background, I was a general partner or managing director of 3 life science venture funds and have led multiple venture rounds of financing. I've co-founded biotech companies and served as a board member or chairman in biotech. My technical training, or educational background, I'm a Harvard PhD in chemistry with the great privilege of doing my PhD dissertation under Professor Hirschbach, who was the 1986 Nobel laureate. He won the prize before I was a graduate student, so I cannot claim and wouldn't dare claim any credit for that. Dr. May, like myself, for better or worse, is also Harvard educated. As mentioned, he was previously executive VP for Herbalife, in charge of medical and scientific affairs. He still has an active internal medicine practice, which is helpful to us because we can get clinical sort of, I don't want to say testing, but results from some of his patients that come in seeking solutions for pain and other conditions that our line of products address. So for 4 mornings a week, he sees patients in his Southern California office. Seth Shaw, many of you know, is incredibly experienced in raising money, financing, and growing microcap public companies. He's been an invaluable research, and he was my predecessor as CEO before I became CEO in March, end of February, early March of last year. One new development is that we just added a board member, which will be announced in the next day or two. We've been creating a board of directors that reflects our overall mission, standards, quality. So uh, each member of the board of directors has an advanced degree, at least one, which not necessarily good or bad, but hopefully you see here our emphasis on scientific and business focus. So Dr. Brennan was the founding CEO of GeneLogic. He built the company from a startup to a public NASDAQ company that achieved a market cap of over $5 billion in 2000. 2000 was, a great year for life science companies, but nonetheless, that NASDAQ experience is very important to us. Dr. Su was Fidelity Biosciences. He comes from both an MD and MBA background and has had leadership positions in industry in Chiron and Gencia, as well as a lot of investment banking and private equity experience. Our newest board member is Dr. Steven Squinto. Steve is a venture partner at OrbiMed, which many of you know is a large investment firm, healthcare investment firm. They manage over $15 billion. He's not joining in his capacity as OrbiMed, but rather because he has a genuine interest in our product line and a belief that natural wellness is an important and potentially scientifically cutting edge area. He was a co-founder of Alexion Pharmaceuticals and was there for 23 years, building it from nothing to what it is today. His most recent position there, which was last year or so, was EVP and Chief Global Operations Officer at Alexion. And I've had the privilege of working with him, when I was a venture capitalist, and I have nothing but great things to say about him. And I'm so thrilled that he is joining our board. He also personally invested in Tauriga, which to me is a huge stamp of validation. Dr. Walitsky has been a board member for a while. He is a tenured faculty member in the Department of Psychology in New York University, and I am chairman and a member of the board. Okay, so strong team committed to our vision. Not everything, though, I like to present, not everything is rosy. I always like to present a balanced perspective. As some of you, especially shareholders, realize in the last couple months, the stock had been facing daily downward pressure from selling shareholders who received equity at very low to essentially free basis from previous transactions. Now, I am very, very pleased to announce that this week we bought out the remaining Type and X position for a one-time payment of $230,000. And so this was a huge chunk of our overhang because they had shares and they had a volume restriction, so that it was something where every day for the next number of weeks to month they would have, had we not bought them out, continued to sell as is. It would have been their right. And so this for us was a big milestone. We have now very little remaining overhang. So I think when we announced that we bought out the position, our stock price went up like over 40% that day. It was Tuesday, I think. Our strengths, I think our business model provides diversification. I do think they're sort of related in the overall theme. I think each of the sectors are very attractive and they're poised for explosive growth, but on different dynamics, which is good from a diversification point of view. I'm pleased with our product line, and especially bringing natural medicine, to people who need it. And the people that we have committed to the company and who are rolling up their sleeves to help build it, I think are second to none, and not generally what you would find in a micro cap stock of our ilk. Okay, so in summary, I think we're a unique company in the medicinal cannabis space. There's a huge opportunity, and we're really preparing for growth and the next stage of development. It's not without challenge, but it's I think a great opportunity. So with that, I'll turn it over to Derwin, and I'm pleased to answer any questions. Thank you again for the opportunity to present to you.
Thanks, Dr. Sung. Give me a couple of seconds to queue up questions. The first question is from Alan Brockstein, 420 Investors. Alan, go ahead with your question.
Thanks, Derwin. And hey, Stella.
Hi, I miss you.
Congratulations on Steven Squinto. That you just revealed that for the first time, right?
Yes, it's good. The press release is coming out, though.
Got it. Very interesting. My question is your take on the recent FDA Q&A, the 20 questions. What is your view on the impact to your company and the industry with respect to what was stated about CBD as nutritional supplements?
Yeah, so this happened just a couple weeks ago, and I know that a number of companies, or like Cannabis and others, are presenting additional I don't know if I want to say evidence, but information to address this issue. I of course fully support that. Now, I think it's not necessary. It cuts both ways. Now, I think it does some damage to all of us in the CBD space, in that it questions the legitimacy of CBD as a natural medicine. Now, I'm hopeful that as more information is presented, that it ends up being more of an educational process, and that will be a positive. The other sort of negative about it is that shortly after this happened, I alluded to, when I talked about Canna Caviar, the issues with merchant payment and PayPal and so forth. But a lot of these companies necessarily choose to be ultra conservative, and so they see something like this and they say, okay, even though CBD doesn't get anyone high, and it's potentially only healing and medicinal, we can't risk it. And so what happened to me shortly after that at Tauriga is that PayPal, with no warning at all, sort of froze our account. I mean, we worked around it, and we temporarily suspended Canna Caviar from the website, but it can be ordered directly through Dr. May's office and through Tauriga directly. But that caused a logistical issue. But on the other hand, on the flip side, what I'm really happy about is that it calls into question sort of standards, and also it makes companies, hopefully like ours, differentiable. So for all of our products, we have third-party testing. And Alan, you and I had talked previously about the CBD content of Tropicana. And so
Right.
For example, I have third-party test results that show that not only can I back up my claim that Tropicana has 50 milligrams of CBD per ounce, it's actually closer to 60. Like, I was conservative. And so for companies that don't cut corners, and that do take you can't make medical claims, you can't and want to do everything on the up and up because we believe in what we do, I think it's good because it helps differentiate us. But in the short term, it does create some logistical and perception issues, I think, for the overall industry. So it's give and take. I would say it cuts both ways.
Just so I understand, Canna Caviar right now is not up on the website, and you're saying that that's due to a PayPal issue that you think may be related to the FDA, or it's just
Yes.
PayPal?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, they didn't say why they this was Friday before Memorial Day, which
Oh, okay. So it happened afterwards.
it happened
may be related.
shortly. It may be, it may not be, but
Okay.
shortly afterwards, and as you know, too, I've had a lot of sort of discussion with PayPal, educating them on, written discourse with them, explaining our product line, our mission, and all of that. But nonetheless, even though everything was fine from January up until, week and almost 2 weeks ago, and now we can, everything is still working on our website, until we make sure that we do everything that makes people happy, whether we agree or disagree with their policies. I've temporarily on our e-commerce site suspended Canna Caviar.
Got it. Okay, thanks, Stella. Good luck and congratulations on that board
Yes.
of directors.
And just I'm going to be rejoining. I just haven't had time, the 420i network, which is awesome. So.
Take care. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Alan.
All right, Dr. Sung, that concludes. You do have more questions, but our next presentation starts in 4 minutes.
Okay, can I please, people can feel free to email me directly. I'm generally reasonably good. It sometimes takes me a couple of days, but I like hearing from people. I love the interest in the company, and I like to be transparent. So that's my contact info, and there's also a coupon code for our e-commerce site.
Well, thank you, Dr. Sung. This concludes our presentation. The next presentation is Kaya Holdings Incorporated at 1 o'clock.